Welcome everybody to a beautiful night here in Cary, North Carolina. It is time for Saturday Night Soccer USL Championship style as the Tampa Bay Rowdies take on North Carolina FC. This pregame show brought to you by Farah and Farah, Tampa Bay's personal injury lawyers. Playoff implications at stake as you look at our cookie-fueled mama standings. Right now, the Tampa Bay Rowdies in 6th place, Ryan, looking to move up.
Yeah, and these next 3 games are so crucial. Yes, they are actually home games, but they'll be somewhat on the road, not in our Lang Stadium. That matchup against Hartford in just a week's time will be that extra game that will tell the tale.
Tampa Bay wants to put their playoff hopes to bed. They hope to clinch after tonight. You win, you control your own destiny. If you don't get 3 points, Ryan, a lot of other things have to happen.
Yeah, I think Nicky Lord must come into this game with a must-win mindset in the second half. In the first half, they have to be watchful. They only need a point to keep going on, to keep their season alive. They're not going to give away everything in the first 45.
Take a look at our players to watch, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint. Tampa Bay needs Kyle Jennings to be on top of his game the rest of the year.
Drew, he scored 8 goals in his first 8 matches. He's stuck on 13, not because of him and his lack of effort. The lack of service coming from midfield has sort of dried up goals for the centre forward. It's a big match for him tonight, and especially the next 2 after.
So tonight for Tampa Bay, their second trip here to North Carolina, home of North Carolina FC. They have been pretty stout at home this season. And this team, with that 8-2-6 mark, so many scoring threats on the pitch. But right now, Ryan, Evan Conway is doing his thing, playing at the top of his game.
And he partners up with Anderson so well. He plays 2 forwards up top, and they give defenders beans because they like to share the ball and they're so aggressive. And also, playing at home, he's a different type of player when playing in front of the home fans.
So much on the line here tonight. Every minute, every goal, every game just means more. It's Rowdies in North Carolina, and it's next on ESPN+.
At Farah & Farah, we simplify your paperwork and make signing case documents a piece of cake. Farah & Farah, here to make it easy. How long does it take to set up a free consultation with Farah & Farah? About this long. Farah & Farah, here to make it easy.
Very different people, very different medical conditions, who all have one thing in common. They and their families chose Orlando Health for care, where our expert teams gave them one more thing in common: their lives back. Orlando Health. Choose well.
When you're going through a personal injury, the little things matter. At Farah & Farah, if you can't come out to meet us, we'll come out to meet you. Farah & Farah, here to make it easy.
No matter how you've been hurt, in a car accident, on the job, or from a medical mistake, it doesn't matter. Life goes on. How that life goes on is where we come in. Farah & Farah.
Both teams walking out ready to go. Tampa Bay Rowdies in a game that was supposed to be played at Al Lang Stadium. Tonight they're in North Carolina, and North Carolina FC proud to be the host, although Tampa Bay technically comes in the home team. They will be the home team here tonight. Let's take a look at this Rowdies lineup, the 3-4-3 in effect. We know about Arteaga and Jennings all season long. They've been dynamite, but this Tampa Bay attack, Ryan, need some help.
Josh Perez and company really have to start creating opportunities and space for Arteaga and Jennings to operate in. Blake Bodley and Younger Berry have to be aggressive, taking on players on the wings to free up players on the inside. Jordan Farr has to get to his very best down this stretch to keep the Rowdies in the game.
North Carolina, their lineup tonight also in the 3-4-3. We hear so much about Conway, but Lex Anderson with his 10 goals, he is a handful.
He missed the last 2 matches because he was playing with the St. Vincent and Grenadines in that CONCACAF window. Now he's back at home. They're unstoppable in front of their own fans, but Maldonado is the brain in midfield. Look out for him to pull the strings.
Our lineups tonight brought to you by Orlando Health. Bayfront could not have asked for a better weather night. 72 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. And this venue, although it's not Al Lang, Wake Med Soccer Park, about as nice, as pristine, and as gorgeous as you can get in USL Championship. We're underway from North Carolina. Of course, the Rowdies with the routine, iconic green and gold, and North Carolina wearing the dark uniforms. Lewis Hilton continues to be the engine offensively for this Rowdies side, and we're so thrilled that you are along for the ride. Drew Felios alongside Ryan Davis. Ryan, not the position we expected to be in here tonight, but hey, it's Rowdies soccer, and we're absolutely thrilled to bring it to Rowdies fans.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Rowdies players are not happy not to play in Al Lang Stadium, but to get a chance to get back out on the field, forget your problems that happened over the last couple of weeks on the field and off the field, to get back on the pitch for these players. It's so important to get back to business for them and get back to doing what they do best.
Rowdies players and their families having to deal with back-to-back hurricanes. You had Helene, then you had Milton, and it has definitely put a strain on everybody. So just thrilled to get the opportunity here tonight. Rowdies attack here from the left side. This ball cleared temporarily by Paco Craig. See the talent in Navy here tonight. Colin Martin also. Rodrigo Da Costa gets a touch as well. And the goalkeeper, Jake Martin, 61 saves coming into this matchup here tonight. This is Lamar Batista from the back.
Tell you what, this team had a tough loss against Hartford just a week ago. Lost 4-3, and the keeper Maguire had a nightmare in the post. He allowed the first goal from Danny Barrera, then Barrera capitalized again to go up 2-0. They have a point to prove coming back home, Drew. And of course, Rowdies is dead red in their crosses.
Tampa Bay here, building from the back. Aaron Guillen, tonight a historic start for him, as he is coming up on 200 appearances in USL Championship soccer. He used to play for North Carolina, so tonight definitely emotional for him. As you look at Maguire right there, so many storylines to touch on.
And it's also 75 degrees and sunny. Beautiful in North Carolina tonight.
Let's take a look at our injury report brought to you by Orlando Health Bayfront. And right, both teams relatively healthy.
Coming down to this stage of the season, the fact that you have most of your squad to work with, I mean, both coaches have to be completely impressed with that. And talking about coaches, Nicky Law on the sidelines, what a story that is. Coach Robbie Nielsen, after the Rowdies suffered their 3rd consecutive loss on the road. I think Coach Robbie Nielsen wanted to make a point, and is now going to face his first match of a 2-game suspension.
Evan Conway threading the needle. First scoring chance here for North Carolina. That's where the Rowdies have struggled, that back line. Jordan Farr coming up, and the back line squeezing it just in time.
But both teams like to play with a high line and go 1v1. With Anderson going up against Jordan Doherty and Freddie Kleeman, he's going to find space, especially if Conway comes around his shoulder, either on the left or the right. He will provide service and provide problems to the Rowdies.
Josh Perez taken down, and we've got our first whistle. Keys to the match. I know we've got those pinpointed. And those are brought to you by Farah & Farah, Tampa's injury lawyers, and online at farahandfarah.com.
Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Milton, the Rowdies have to play with emotion tonight. Yes, they're playing away from home, but let that be the chip on their shoulder, the fact that they can't be in Al-Lang and they have to play in front of North Carolina's fans. North Carolina, guess what? You just got an extra home game. You get to play in front of your fans. You use that home advantage. They are literally a point from getting into the playoffs, North Carolina. Use that to your advantage and creep in.
So Josh Perez, a little bit shaken up. He gets up, looks like he is okay. Yeah, free admission tonight. That is music to the ears of all of these fans. Nicky Law tonight gets a chance to call the shots as Robbie Nielsen serves the first of a 2-game suspension.
The Nicky Law was shoved in.
Tampa Bay now, chance at a one-timer there. It comes off the foot of Ben Bender, and another whistle to belong to North Carolina.
Well, the man from Crown Legacy FC, it wouldn't have counted, but Ben Bender's getting a lot of playing time in the middle of the park because of his ability to handle the ball in crowded situations. So the ball comes into Bender and Hilton and company, they suck in the pressure, and they go back out to Nyangaberi and Bodley.
So we told you about Nicky Law. On the other side, there is John Bradford, head coach of North Carolina FC, and talk about holding it together, getting the best out of the sum of your parts. North Carolina's got an outstanding head coach. I was really impressed with him. We talked to him earlier this week.
Drew, he went down with them in 2021 to USL League One. He stayed with his team and got them back up to the championship. I mean, when you build that sort of experience with these players, you play with emotion. I mean, there's really, literally, there's skin in the game in regards to Coach Bradford.
Freddie Kleeman gets a touch, and the Rowdies will throw it in on that far side.
I'm going to plug this, by the way. The fact that Bradford and you and this North Carolina team came up from USL League One, a little bit of talk about promotion, relegation, a little bit of heart and soul involved there. Something for the league to look forward to, and I think they are looking in that direction.
They certainly made the most of their time in League One, won a championship there last year, and then it's hard charging back to USL Championship.
Yeah, now they're back into the championship. They have all that experience from USL League One, and now they're literally knocking on the door to the playoffs to the championship.
Don't have high numbers with this franchise, at least not right now, but they certainly have quality. All roles are defined, and these players get along great. It has been a great mix and match.
Coach Bradford was telling us they had a 28-player squad, and ownership made them trim that squad down to 21. That's bare bones. Players can't afford to get injured or sick. But now they've found that nucleus, and they're making a run. They've won 3 of their last 5. And guess this, they've scored 10 goals in their last 5 matches. They're flying high, but they're a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team, Drew. Home and away, 9 wins at home, only 3 on the road. And the fact that they get a chance to play an extra game in front of their fans against the Rowdies in a playoff-defining game is huge.
You know they got to be loving that. Jordan Farr, meanwhile, 10 clean sheets. Hasn't played his best soccer here second part of the year. Do you think Tampa Bay right now is comfortable with their goalkeeping situation?
I like the fact that Brino got a chance to play last week. Of course, he's not playing tonight because of a concussion. But goalkeeping competition is very, very important for that position. It allows the players to practice with intensity, and how you practice is how you play on a Saturday.
So here's McGuire. Both teams, bit of a feeling out process here in the first 10 minutes. Players flying around the pitch.
Well, for the Rowdies, they lined up in a 3-4-3, but just like we guessed, Josh Perez is now slid right beneath Arteaga and Jennings. So they're really playing a 3-4-1-2.
Near side now, Ezra Armstrong, 6 assists. To his credit, he has been dealing this year.
Maguire, again, a horror show last week against Hartford. 0 saves, 4 goals conceded. Is going to want to have a big evening tonight.
Maguire just turning 30 years old, in his prime as a keeper. Now it's Nyangaberi and Kleeman handling for Tampa Bay.
And this little piece of possession right here is so important for the Rowdies. It builds a little confidence. Everyone gets a touch on the ball. You start working with rhythm now, the pace of the game. And it may look meaningless.
Trying to go over the top with it. Arteaga the target. And now a 1v1, he's not going to get to it. And a bit of a wasted possession there for the Rowdies.
Yeah, Lamar Batista, left center back, highly rated player for this North Carolina team. Just putting Arteaga up against him, it's just, there was no competitive advantage there. The ball wasn't played into space. It was literally 1v1 with Batista having the better end of it.
So for the Rowdies, last week a 2-1 heartbreaker at Louisville. They have lost 3 straight matches. Tampa Bay has not had a victory since September 14th. Seems like ages ago, that Pittsburgh match.
Boy, do they need some home cooking. I mean, tough matches as well. I mean, on the road to Rhode Island, who were again in the hunt to making the playoffs, and they've went on a run of their own. Then you play again on the road to Louisville, on the road to Charleston. They're the toast of the town in the Eastern Conference. So the Rowdies dying to get back home, which, by the way, this is a home match, but still an easier, softer part of the schedule.
This one skates out of bounds in the aftermath of both Hurricanes Helene and Milton. The USL partnering with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastating storms left behind. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code or visit www.uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to resources they need to recover. And great to see the USL stepping in. Ryan, I actually live in the Tampa Bay community and cannot even describe the devastation that's taken place over the last 3 weeks. It is something unlike that the area has ever dealt with ever before, and great to see so many people chipping in on the cleanup.
Well, even if you don't live in that area, you know someone who's been part of it, and through your personal circumstances with your home and so on, it's just unthinkable of what happened, not just with Helene, then Milton right after, and our thoughts are certainly with everyone in the Tampa Bay area.
So Rowdies look to attack. Nyongaberi near side here. Ben Bender once again. Cal Jennings. Oh, the whistle blows. Jennings kind of looking back a bit unsure that time.
Well, I'm glad we featured Cal Jennings today, because North Carolina, just like the Rowdies, push up very high. They play a high line. Forwards with speed can then occupy that space behind that high line, and Cal Jennings has that characteristics to break that line and get a 1v1. So all eyes on Jennings tonight with that ball over the top to get that high line.
Well, give and go that time. Armstrong whizzes right past him. Tampa Bay will have the throw in. Notice here about half the field covered with the shade, and the other, the bright sun, bearing down. Kind of feels different to start at 5 o'clock than your usual 7:30 beginning.
I gotta be honest, I'll be the guy floating across to the shade to stand. I just gotta be honest.
Lamar Batista setting it up. Armstrong. See the chemistry, Batista again. Bryce Washington, tremendous athlete, got great wheels as well. Carried a heavy load for North Carolina this year. Now it's Anderson. Ball gets mixed up. Top of the box now. A little shove from behind there, we play on. And now it's Bender.
Excellent job by the Rowdies after recovering the ball to play out of the press.
Lewis Hilton, so many great years he has had in green and gold. Big blow to the Rowdies this year, losing their guy in the back, the lumberjack in the back, Forrest Lasso, and it just seems like that back line has just not really been the same ever since.
I think because of his physicality, teams couldn't just play the ball over the top. He would use that physicality to disrupt that long ball over the top. Now with Kleeman, who's now trying to find his way in the USL Championship, hasn't reached that level of the Lumberjack at the back. And I think this team with Jordan Doherty playing a makeshift right centre-back as well, the Rowdies have been exposed when they play with that high line and try to defend 1v1 with Doherty and Kleeman.
Yeah, Lasso, a multiple-time USL Championship defender of the year. You don't just replace that or come up with a different lineup.
Exactly.
It is tough when you endure a loss like that.
And positioning is such a big part of the game. And when you play so many repetitions like Lasso has, I mean, he can get to that spot a lot quicker because of anticipation.
Well, you can relax boldly in Tampa Bay by claiming your next adventure at visitampabay.com. That's visitampabay.com. Of course, the Tampa Bay area in rebuild mode, but still one of the most beautiful places in the world to visit. And we know it is going to continue. There's McGuire flying through. That's a good-looking pickup there.
Well, he's known as a sweeper keeper in this league. He's so quick off of his line. He uses his 18-yard box well. Excellent distributor when he does have the ball in his hands. And that's why if a team plays with a high line, you have to have a keeper like McGuire who's going to come off that line and close down that space. He's the perfect complement.
North Carolina comes into this game 7th place in the standings. Pittsburgh, Loudoun, Birmingham. It is a logjam right there, all of those teams trying to squeeze into that top 8. Setting this one forward, Anderson, and that's an easy offside.
Well, Olex Anderson, the former Richmond kicker, playing in USL League One. Then, of course, North Carolina spent time in USL League One. Now he's in the championship. And he's repaid this North Carolina team with goals and also being a great partner for Conway up top. Part a native of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, just to let everyone know at home, I've been on a boat up the Grenadines. If you're ever in that area, it's a fantastic voyage.
Wonderful.
Please do it. It's amazing. I felt like a pirate.
Far side, you see Menzigen, the Brazilian, Rafa Menzigen. And throwing oncoming. McGuire's been busy here in the first part of this first half. Now it's Batista out of Oklahoma City originally. Coming up with it again here, it's Anderson. North Carolina temporarily winning it. Rowdies come in crashing the party, and there's another takeaway. This is DaCosta, Rodrigo DaCosta with the cross. Service in once more. Headed up, and the Rowdies will clear it.
Well, just how Josh Perez comes in from that left side behind Arteaga and Jennings. So too Rodrigo DaCosta. He comes from the right side and comes in behind Conway Anderson to play as that floating number 10, as they would say. I can talk all day about Rodrigo DaCosta. He is Brazilian. He plays like a Brazilian. So creative on the ball. He's one of the biggest stories in 2023 when him and Philip Goodrum swapped places with FC Tulsa and Memphis 901. He took Memphis 901 to the playoffs when he just got in for one season. And now he's with North Carolina, just dictating the tempo for this team.
Pacific Nyongaberi, right side, puts it in a pretty good spot. And North Carolina on the retreat, able to get a piece of it. So Rowdies had a pretty solid opportunity right there, but that's where, Ryan, the creativity continues to try and make progress. Our replays tonight brought to you by Orlando Health Bayfront.
When you have players like Bender and Hilton who can hit any pass on the field, and then you have quick players like Nyonga Berry and Bodley on either side, they can get behind the fullbacks and get into that space. Nyonga Berry's delivery left a lot to be desired, but Bender's ball over the top, that's a skill in itself. Was great to watch.
Oh, from behind, hit. That's an easy foul call. And the Rowdies will have it here in a pretty good spot.
Well, we saw Lasso, we just brought him up. He scored 2 goals on his last night with the Rowdies at home in Alang with 2 headers. Now, this is where the Rowdies have lacked on set pieces. They don't have that presence to get in behind or get above centre-backs to head balls into the goal. Can Freddie Kleeman make a name for himself tonight in this stretch for the Rowdies?
So it's Josh Perez on top of it.
So important for centre-backs to get goals. Takes the pressure off of Arteaga and Jennings and company.
Perez with 5 assists to his credit this season. Line drive this time. Oh, the one-timer from about 20 out. Blake Bodley got a pretty good foot into it. Maldonado. And a good sequence here by the Rowdies. Gal Jennings a little tripped up that time. And here comes the counter the other way. This is North Carolina's game. Olex Anderson. Anderson placing it inside the box, and there's Kleeman to tap it out. You can check out all the exciting postseason action as the USL playoffs presented by Terminix kick off in November. Top teams will battle out for the ultimate prize. Go to USLChampionship.com for all the latest playoff information.
Best time of the year, right? October. Playoff posturing, like these 2 teams are doing right now. Rowdies trying to get in with just a point, actually a win will get them in. And of course, North Carolina, if they get points tonight, they get into that top 8. And then there's always candy for Halloween. It's always the best part as well.
So here is Rodrigo da Costa, the end swinger here. He's filled up the stat sheet. 7 goals, 4 assists here in 2024. Out of Rio de Janeiro. Here in the 22nd minute. A bit of a curler, Lewis Hilton on top of it for Tampa Bay.
How good has Lewis Hilton been for the Rowdies over the last couple of games? Yes, it's been a losing stretch, but don't look at number 4 for that. He has produced.
And here's Hilton on cue. Paco Craig, near side, it's Batista. Talked about Aaron Guillen, that 200th appearance and how significant that is this season. I mean, most players are lucky to get to 100. You put
Should we
2 seasons there, you are doing incredible stamina-wise.
Should we call him Mr. 200 from now? That's it, right? I mean, if he hit 300 in baseball, you call him Mr. 300. He's Mr. 200. I mean, that's incredible stamina. And he still has that pace, Drew. He's not like somebody just kind of hobbling around the pitch anymore.
Yes.
He has that pace and that stature in the back line. I mean, he really is something else for the Rowdies and for this league.
Now it's Batista. Open field to work with here. Lots of talking down on the pitch. Michael Maldonado. Center circle. On the run. North Carolina. Colin Martin. As you see, there is Aaron Guillen flying through. So Aaron Guillen playing against his former club here tonight. You know, he wants to play well, should get an extra effort at a number 33.
I wonder if he knows his way to the ground, to the North Carolina ground. He's like, Rowdies, follow me. I know exactly where this place is.
Aaron letting the hair grow there just a little bit.
Yeah, that time of the year, right? The temperature starts to drop.
Yep. Cal Jennings with the turn. Jennings surrounded, gets it off just in time. Running to it here is Bodley. And it skates just out into that shape. Oddly a little frustrated.
Well, he's easily the Rowdies' most industrious player. He covers every blade of grass on that left-hand side. And Nicky Law knows it. That ball just played a little too far in front. The Rowdies just a little bit off of rhythm. Maybe not be able to find rhythm on the road after those losses. Mentally, after the Hurricanes, you combine that with on-the-field losses. I mean, they've really been struggling to find their rhythm on the field. Looks like it's Washington who's picked up a knock. Or is it Batista?
So take a look here one more time. And yes, middle of your screen there, just to the right, Bryce Washington. Untouched and definitely shaken up.
And he's been an iron man for North Carolina. He started every match but 2 for this entire season. 26 years old, very fast. He's one of the reasons why North Carolina plays with that high back line, because he can recover. He's like a gazelle back there.
Get your tickets today at NorthCarolinaFC.com/tickets. See you there.
So we hope Bryce Washington is okay. So the Rowdies will get back into place. While they do, tell you about the Grand Central Brew House, a 2-story brewery, tap room and beer garden located in the heart of the Grand Central District. The brewery featuring traditional lagers and ales poured directly from European-style serving tanks, resulting in fresher beer. The Grand Central Brew House. 26th minute here, scoreless. Washington looks like he is running in full stride. Nyongabiri on top of it for the Rowdies. Well done. Gets by one defender, but then tripped up.
Did a great job nutmegging Washington, but for some reason decided to cut back onto his right foot. He had some green shirts inside left. Nyongabiri is one of those players who started the season so well, just like this Rowdies team, but has gotten into a bit of a slump. It's almost contagious sometimes, Drew.
Little give and go this time. Tampa Bay now. A little bit of wrestling going on there inside the box. And Nyongabiri got the worst of it. They have taken a shot right to the mouth there as he mixed it up with Lamar Batista.
Well, the man from Brundy, he's strong, he likes to tango.
Ooh.
And there's Omar Batista, did a great job in screening the ball. It is a contact sport.
You said it though, such a great start at the beginning of the year. And Pacific Nyongabiri, interesting how long his career lasts in green and gold. Will the Rowdies continue to bring him back? 2 assists, 21 interceptions this season.
But he also has that ability. He has that desire to get on the ball in the last third. That's something you don't see on his stat sheet, but it's so important for this Rowdies team.
Far side now on the run, Metzing it. And running stride for stride with him again, it's Aaron Guillen.
Well, speaking of Brazilians, Rafa Metzingen, he's amazing with the ball and off the ball because he has so much pace. Well, Aaron Guillen is a wily old veteran, and he plays the angles to perfection. And Rafa, usually known to be a creative player coming in from the wing, but he's being asked to play a different role for this North Carolina team. With Rodrigo de Costa playing in front of him, Rafa is playing like Nyongabiri, where he has to cover so much ground defensively and offensively.
See Jordan Farr trying to direct everybody in the right spot for Tampa Bay. Second corner of the game for North Carolina. This one has got trouble written all over it. Farr gets a piece of that ball as it skates out.
Excellent goalkeeping by Jordan Farr. Has not been in the best of form, but cross balls is a big part of how goalkeepers are graded during a match. And for him to secure his 6-yard box and help out his defenders, that is huge.
Now it's Maldonado.
He is a Swiss Army knife, Maldonado. play multiple positions defensively, can push forward.
This one now chipped. Tough spot. Jordan Farr climbs the ladder to bring it down. And now the Rowdies on the run. Blake Bodley trying to establish a bit of tempo here. Saw Josh Perez running. Should he want the ball there a little bit more
It's that
in
desire,
that situation?
right? It's that desire we're talking about. Josh Perez going closer to Bodley, asking for the ball, demanding the ball, as they would say. Something you just don't, that's an intangible you don't see on the stat sheet.
Hilton. Kleeman will spread it around here. This is Jordan Doherty. Maybe a guy that needs to step up also for the Rowdies. Nyonga Berry, right side, look out. Bender just pushed outside the 18-yard box. Chipped up. Nyonga Berry set up the header and a deflection, and the Rowdies should have their first corner.
Excellent build-up. Bender did everything right. He was closed down, and he laid it back for Nyonga Berry. Rowdies starting to find some rhythm. Nyonga Berry taking players on, demanding the ball, being adventurous. Here's Bender turning away from pressure, lays it back so softly for Nyonga Berry to chip it to the last post. There's Bodley, and guess who? Rafa is there, picking up his defensive responsibilities.
So our corner kick brought to you by Cookie Fueled Mama here tonight. Rowdies' first corner. Jordan Doherty from dead on. Nyonga Berry with the follow-up. Oh, just in front. Kyle Jennings could not tuck it away with his head.
Again, another sequence. Excellent job playing the ball short. Something different. Bodley picking out Doherty. Great deflection by Craig, but Nyonga Berry puts it into that corridor of uncertainty. And Kyle Jennings, that is a tap-in with your head, and did not convert.
Kyle Jennings has been stuck on that goal total of 13. It seems like for an eternity. We're just waiting for that number 14 to come, and I know this is an elite scorer in this league. Has certainly had some chances over the last several games, looking to capitalize on them here tonight. Here's Perez, and they will say it was out of bounds. Well, Select is the official match ball supplier of USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Go to the website right there, us.select/sport.com, for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, players' choice. See our head official tonight, Greg Dopka, Carlos Morales Lastra, along with him here tonight.
Greg Dopka just called Lewis Hilton for a foul. It looked like the defender rode over Lewis Hilton's shoulders. I can understand that Hilton did not pick up play on the ball, and often the person who does attempt to go for the ball will get the call. Well, after the last couple of good sequences by the Rowdies, now they have an opportunity to press North Carolina with this throw-in. Can't say enough about confidence. Again, another intangible. And the last, I would say, 10 minutes, the Rowdies have really started to work themselves into the game with possession and then creating opportunities by Nyonga Berry on two separate occasions to Bodley and Jennings.
Now it's Kleeman. Tampa Bay working that right side. Nyonga Berry had some chances. Now North Carolina the other way. Conway just in front, looking for Armstrong, and Kleeman has to come over again. Ezra Armstrong, 6 assists for the defender out of Gastonia, North Carolina. Several local products suiting up for North Carolina FC, and that's how you build a fan base.
Yeah.
With players that fans are familiar with and players are familiar with the area.
And it's infectious as well. When other younger players see their player get promoted to a first team, they start thinking, hey, I can do that as well. And that starts to breed more interest of the sport in the area. And the characteristics he has, Armstrong. He's so quick, so skillful. Yes, he's playing left back tonight, but he plays like a left midfielder most of the time.
Maldonado. Point of attack switched here. Paco Craig dealing. Now far side, trying to get it to Anderson. Anderson trying to elude Kleeman. Here comes Bodily crashing the party, and that is a collision right there and an easy foul call.
Well, Anderson is one of those players who wants the ball in the last third. He's turning on his defender, asking the question, and the Rowdies have to react. They start to corral as Anderson turns sharply on Kleeman, and he's off to the races inside. And now green shirts have to gather. And now he wins a free kick for his team in the attacking third.
So Blake Bodily here gets into position. Rowdies have to really be careful here. Set pieces on the road, a dangerous spot to be in here.
When you have players like Paco Craig, who is so good in getting goals, talk about a veteran. He has over 200 USL Championship appearances, won a couple championships with Louisville City. Now he's captaining this North Carolina team. He has a nose for goal, as they say, in the 18-yard box.
So here's the midfielder, Michael Maldonado. Originally from San Antonio, 3 goals, 5 assists. For the guy that looks like the Swiss Army knife of this club. Josh Perez getting a little talking to here. Of course, you don't want to let Evan Conway get loose. He is a big target. So 36th minute, important set piece on the way. Played on the ground. Rowdies get to it quickly, and this one kicked out of the stadium, and it'll be Tampa Bay ball.
I can feel the eye roll from John Bradford after Maldonado cannot even clear the first defender. You have all your center-backs coming forward, queuing up for the cross. Poor delivery from a quality player in Maldonado.
Ryan, this broadcast tonight brought to you by Farah and Farah, Tampa's personal injury lawyers, and online at farahandfarah.com. So thrilled to have them aboard with Tampa Bay Rowdies soccer this year. The great sponsorship and the broadcasts locally on Tampa Bay's 44, and of course ESPN Plus as well. Here comes Arteaga, ball loose right there, middle of the park. And once again, Rowdies will not get the benefit of the doubt. It's North Carolina ball.
Well, Arteaga turns into the pressure and not away from it. And as soon as he took that touch, Maldonado stepped in. And a little bit of frustration from the Venezuelan.
How about Manuel Arteaga? 16 goals to his credit. By far the leading scorer on this Tampa Bay side.
And after a great season from Phoenix Rising, winning the playoffs championship with Phoenix last season.
And truly one of the top goal scorers in this league. Batista, so long and rangy. And right at that midfield stripe, North Carolina with the throw-in. Jordan Doherty. Aaron Guillen this time.
Well, both teams at this point dead even. Possession-wise, North Carolina 55 to Rowdies 45. Shot-wise, Rowdies 4 shots to North Carolina's 2.
Youngaberry will nudge that time. It'll be the second Rowdies corner kick.
Thank you, Drew. I was about to make that start. Corners dead even now at 2. So not much between these two sides.
How about our new sponsor too, Cookie Fueled Mama? First time I've said that before. I love it, man, and I'm getting a little hungry over here.
Stomach starting to growl just as that corner kick came up. Which cookie do you go for? Chocolate chip? I'm a standard kind of guy. I'm a chocolate chip
all the way.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. This one put to the far post. Arteaga running over. Rowdies here will do it again. I like the chocolate chip too. That is delicious.
Yes.
Bodily. Kleeman trying to get to it. Headed up by Guillen. There's Kleeman, big target. Batista got a toe on it. Rowdies able to get it back. Well done by Tampa Bay. But again, Arteaga just a little bit rushed that time.
2025 season.
Well, he was trying to combine with Jennings again with a little bit of a 1-2 to get it back to Jennings. But Arteaga, like we've seen in the last 5 minutes, just a little bit off the pace. And I think he's not getting involved enough. He's not touching the ball enough to get that rhythm. So I think because of that, his touch or his decision-making is a little bit slower at this moment, with just about 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, he has been involved late in games we've seen, especially at home this season, but a few times perhaps starting a bit slow. North Carolina, numbers forward. Nyongaberi along the backside. We play on. Well done, good physical play. And now Cal Jennings in stride. Jennings trying to get control of it against two. Nearly had it.
Well, that's why they're not afraid to play a high back line. When you have Batista and Washington back there, they're so quick to corral players like Jennings and take this thing out of the play.
Game's starting to get a little extra physical here. Hilton. And now Armstrong. Pace certainly picking up as well.
Well, I have an issue with this. When a player falls to the floor and puts his feet on top of the ball like that, that should be an automatic free kick for the opposing team. If that's not the case, then the opposing team has every right to start wailing on the ball and players can get injured.
You saw it from Armstrong that time. First minute. Ben Bender hoping to make an impact. John Bradford right now. See Hilton. Distributed well, Nyongaberi. And it's sent out once more. Rowdies will have it here on the near side. If you are Coach Bradford right now, do you like what's happening? It just feels like Tampa Bay has controlled the pace just a bit here over the past 15 minutes.
Yeah, if you're Coach Bradford, whose team is very much in the playoff hunt, you don't mind because the score is still 0-0 after that tough loss away to Hartford. And this is Conway getting a little bit of payback to Nyongaberi on the play before. Nyongaberi won the ball. Conway a little bit frustrated. But Coach Bradford, they're not exactly dominating the game. They haven't created any clear chances in the opening 41 minutes at home against a Rowdies team that have lost 3 in a row. So you may be feeling a little bit down, not down and out, but a little bit down as what you thought would happen in the first 45 minutes if you're North Carolina.
So mark it down, 42nd minute, Evan Conway in the books. First player carded here in this match. Bender. Rowdies trying to redirect here, trying to get to it. It's Guillen. Guillen's service is deflected. And another Tampa Bay corner kick coming up. You can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches, including the championship final, available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. So Josh Perez with another cookie-fueled mama corner kick. Perez, those 5 assists to his credit this year. Acquired from Miami a couple seasons ago. Right to the middle of the box. Carolina with a little defensive help as Aaron Guillen corrals it. Guillen lets it go now. Arteaga. Put right in front of the goal. Bender, and it will belong to Carolina.
Good defending by North Carolina. They picked up their defensive responsibilities. They stayed compact even when the ball went over their heads. Everyone held their marks, held their players, and won back possession.
So if you're just joining us, a game for the Rowdies, and where the Rowdies are in North Carolina, but technically the home team. Also free admission tonight. Everybody allowed in the park. a last-minute addition to this stadium's itinerary. The local community embracing it and also showing some great empathy for the Rowdies as the ball sends out. But I guarantee you, once that ball is in motion, Ryan, there's no mercy. These two teams going at each other.
Absolutely. Both of them understand where these seasons are.
Doherty up the pitch now. Josh Perez, a little tap. And now it's Guillen.
Yeah, there's so much to play for coming into this match. It almost feels like a cup final where, again, North Carolina have to try to get into the playoffs. They're just 1 point away from getting into that discussion. The Rowdies, if they win tonight, they leapfrog and get back into fourth. That's hosting a playoff game. So a lot at stake for these two teams. Of course, if Rowdies win, they're into the playoffs automatically.
Rowdies, feisty. Lewis Hilton tripped up, looked over at the head referee. Brett Dopka did not get a whistle. As we come to the final seconds of regulation time here in half number one. This has been a pretty free-flowing half, so do not expect much extra time here, and it is just going to be 1 minute. Plenty of time for North Carolina to take advantage. This team can score quickly, but there's Hilton trying to rev up the engine. Arteaga center circle. Hilton able to reel it in, and now Bodley goes to work. Rowdies numbers forward. Blake Bodley. Good defensive work by North Carolina. Tampa Bay surveying the field. Guillen sending it in. Headed out once again. Doherty. Hilton right side. Rowdies very feisty here. It's Bender. And now Doherty again. Loft this one up. Far post. Oh, headed up. And just wide of the goal. Just off target as several players go down.
Well, this entire sequence all started when Rodrigo da Costa was pickpocketed by Hilton in the middle of the park. And then this long ball by Doherty to the back post. Bodies go flying, and Rafa gets headed by Blake Bodley. You can see his head snap back. And that is not going to be a pretty sight when he gets back to his feet. Yeah, thoughts with Rafa there. He's really trying to regain his composure.
Second player shaken up in this game for North Carolina, Bryce Washington earlier. And now another guy who is so important to this club, and Rafa Minsingen. That's certainly a good sign for him, and the local crowd applauding.
He means so much to them. He's like Nyanga Berry for the Rowdies up on that right-hand side. Quick, slippery, could get into space and provide passes to Rodrigo da Costa.
So McGuire directing traffic here in the first half for North Carolina. Credit the Rowdies. Tampa Bay is taking it to North Carolina, especially the second half of this first half, and that will bring us to the end of the half after 45 and change. Both teams still looking for their first goals.
Yeah, I think both of them understand what's at stake tonight. They can't lose tonight. So I think the first 45 minutes, they both sort of felt each other out. But as fatigue starts to set in and confidence on the Rowdies' end starts to set in, I think you're going to start seeing more opportunities being created in the second 45.
Sun slowly setting. A beautiful day in Cary, North Carolina. Freddie Kleeman and the Tampa Bay Rowdies still level with North Carolina. So excited you're with us here tonight on ESPN+. Lots to come with halftime festivities. Your Visit Tampa Bay halftime show is next.
Rowdies. My name is Riley, and I'll be taking care of you today.
With Chevy Trucks, be anywhere. It's Chevy Truck season. Get 1.9% financing, plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. See your local Chevy dealer.
Get ready, get set, get check. It's just that easy to sell your car with MorganBuysCars.com. First, visit MorganBuysCars.com and tell us a bit about your car. Next, receive an express cash offer online. Then, schedule an appointment at one of our 14 convenient locations to pick up your check. Plus, we'll beat anyone's offer on your vehicle, or we'll give you $500. So, get ready, get set, and get checked. Online at MorganBuysCars.com.
So excited to have you with us on this Saturday night, and it was a beautiful week for the beautiful game here in USL Championship as we bring you now our USL Championship goals and saves of the week.
Sky high ball, deflection, good chance, wrestling on the ground, miss by Cella, shot, oh wow, just wide, and a heck of a save made by Ford Park.
As Macias picks the pocket, steps to his left, shoots, and he scores! Opportunistic, Aiden Macias gives the Mingos the lead.
Lions, nice drive, in the shot, parried away Cisniega. Alvaro! Oh my goodness gracious.
Revelar, company moving forward, looking to go to his left. A nice strike into the goal it goes. Oh my goodness, it looked like it may have been off the mark, but Monterey Bay has just tied this game.
So many more great moments to come in 2024. This is our Visit Tampa Bay halftime show. Much more to come, including news and notes, league schedules, and so much more. We'll get you ready for half number 2 after this.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata.
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it. We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Welcome to Do or Die. Welcome to stories that give meaning to it all. The juggernaut chasing history. The hero hoping for a Hollywood ending. The upstart determined to make the most of its shot at glory. Welcome to second-guessing everything. Every coach's decision, every referee's call, every pass, shot, tackle, save. Because you know it all means more now. Welcome to the playoffs.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Yeah, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Very different people, very different medical conditions, who all have one thing in common. They and their families chose Orlando Health for care, where our expert teams gave them one more thing in common: their lives back. Orlando Health. Choose well.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Visit Tampa Bay halftime show. Tampa Bay Rowdies, North Carolina FC. Exciting first half of play. No goals just yet. That should change in half number 2. Let's turn the page now to some news and notes. And how about this? A class move. Louisville, the Rowdies' arch rival, donating over $20,000 to assist and Hurricane Helene and Milton relief.
Well, they toasted the town on the field and they toasted the town off the field. Louisville City, such great characters and great leadership, and City leaving their mark in USL Championship as usual.
Sacramento's Davion Kimbrough called up. Congratulations to him, part of the U15 squad for the upcoming training camp at El Paso. 2024 Copa Tejas champions after the draw against San Antonio last week. Take a look at some scores from around the league. How about Detroit? They continue to do their thing this year, and then we've got a hot and heavy night coming at you of USL Championship soccer in the 11. Birmingham, Loudoun, Pittsburgh, Charleston, Rhode Island, FC Tulsa, Hartford, San Antonio, Blue City on tap.
Tell you what, that Detroit win has put them in pole position now. They're in third in the East and looking to lock up a home playoff match. And that is a fantastic place to play in Detroit.
Yeah, we're looking at standings where all of these teams fall. Tampa Bay, remember they thought they were going to have a home playoff game. Well, of course, Al Lang Stadium in question, whether the Rowdies are going to play there the rest of 2024. Still, the Rowdies would like to get into that slot, but right now, sitting 5th, a win tonight goes a long way. It simply clinches the postseason.
Correct. Just getting into the playoffs is huge for this team. They can then reset and get things in order for that playoff push. But a win tonight then opens the discussion. The next 2 matches, if they can get points in those, they can then host a match in Tampa Bay for 2024. That in itself would be a story.
Late night schedule looks like this. 9 o'clock, El Paso, Sacramento. The Golazo Network hosting Monterey Bay and Colorado Springs. And the rest on ESPN Plus with Vegas and Oakland. And also Phoenix, Memphis, Orange County, New Mexico on the West Coast as well. So many great matchups here in USL Championship. And when we come back, half number 2. Oh, a happy crowd on hand as they get in tonight to Club Med Park for free. They're rooting for their squad, North Carolina. The Rowdies have something to say about that. Half number 2 is next.
For somebody that hasn't been through this kind of situation before, it's kind of scary. You're hurt, your car's destroyed. How's this going to impact my job, my income, my future? And Farrah made sure that I understood what was going to happen step by step, and they took care of me.
It was my first car accident. Being so young, I was clueless and I didn't know who to reach out to and what to do. The people at Farrah, they were able to navigate me through every step of the way. They showed that they cared and I felt respected.
What happens when a company puts health solutions at the center of everything it does? At Florida Blue, Tai Chi happens. Nurse visits happen. This happens. A nutrition class happens. Answers to your health insurance questions happen. And a healthier you happens. So come by your local Florida Blue Center and experience health solutions at the center.
Moving doesn't have to be stressful. Good Greek is the only company that offers total relocation solutions. Whether you're buying, selling, or renting a home, packing and moving your most prized possessions, storing your items in a safe and secure place. Our personal concierge service will help you connect your utilities and transfer your mail. We provide safe and reliable auto transport, and we'll even remove any unwanted junk.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
to Hooters. My name is Riley, and I'll be taking care of you today.
Welcome back here to beautiful Wake Med Soccer Park, Cary, North Carolina. Fans coming to the party tonight for free to watch the Rowdies in North Carolina. This halftime show continues, brought to you by Visit Tampa Bay. First half highlights look like this. North Carolina threatening early.
Yeah, Anderson using his pace, setting up Conway. Look at Aaron Guillen, 200th appearance in USL with a goal-saving block to protect Jordan Farr.
That's as good as you can do it. Aaron Guillen, a fixture for the Rowdies. Then Tampa Bay started to have chance after chance. Here's Youngaberry.
Bender showing off that diagonal pass, and Youngaberry is so quick to get behind the line. Just couldn't find Jennings at the last post.
29th minute now. Rowdies defending once more and standing tall.
Maldonado's throwing, his arm strong, and then Rafa just dinks it back into the box, and Jordan Farr takes it off of the head of Paco Craig. And Jordan Farr's had quite the half so far protecting those cross balls.
Yeah, Jordan Farr needs to have a good performance. He's doing just that. Rowdies with Jordan Doherty this time trying to create some space.
Something from the playground, top of the box, Youngaberry, and Carl Jennings has to convert that chance. It is what we call a big chance in soccer, and he doesn't convert.
That was clearly the best chance the Rowdies had in that first half. So you look at shots, Rowdies controlling their possession, even Steven across the board. Corner kicks, Tampa Bay with the edge, and the Rowdies, I think, with a slight edge here on the road.
Absolutely, the 5 shots to 2 is telling. That means with the possession, they're actually creating opportunities for themselves to have shots on goal, or even just shots in the vicinity of the goal. But it begs the question, the Rowdies are now starting to get a little bit of confidence going in this first half. More to come in the second.
Once again, if you're just joining us, it is so cool to be able to bring Rowdy Soccer to you tonight as you look at Josh Perez. It also, Ryan, kind of makes you remember and reflect and appreciate what we have at Al Lang Stadium with all the great Tampa Bay Rowdies crew. Every single week, Tom Sipos and the gang setting us up to succeed week after week. We want to send a message out to all of those crew members, and we hope to have Rowdies television back at Al Lang very, very soon.
I know they're enjoying the pizza right now watching the game, and guys, I hope you enjoy it. We're thinking of you. And so far, the Rowdies and North Carolina have put on a great show in the first half.
Second half underway. North Carolina FC now moving left to right.
Well, the sun is officially set. No more shadows. The lights are on, which makes it just a little bit more even on your screen. And again, the Rowdies have to go back to this possession. I'll give everyone a touch, get that confidence and rhythm going.
Blake Bodley near side, Drew Felios, Ryan Davis. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday night with us. Cal Jennings puts it in position, turning. And then, once again, the final third just a little bit disjointed, just not fluid, as Bodley watches it go out of bounds.
Yeah, we call it the final product in football or soccer, and is that in that last third, that pass that splits the defense. Nicky Lowe has to be impressed with the first 45 minutes, home/on the road, whatever you want to call it. And McGuire, who's had a rough game a week ago, has done a good job so far in the first 45.
Bodley. The Rowdies get a victory tonight, Ryan. They will clinch their 6th straight postseason. And I know I'm calling this game like there's no margin of error for Tampa Bay. We're just used to seeing this club play better. Simple as that in the month of October.
Yeah, I think this group, because of injuries, some new faces coming in. We see Bender coming in, this youngster. We see a lot of moving parts, and this group never really settled. I think they did a great job because of the high intensity in which they portrayed in the first third of the season. I think they were rewarded for that intensity. As the season wore on, that intensity wore down. I think everything started to even up, and the Rowdies began to lose ground. They weren't getting 3 points on the regular, as they would say, and the team started to get a little disjointed. They have some older players, they have some younger players, and I think that disparity between the two, they have to have some middle ground where you have players who are playing at their peak. And I don't think they have enough players on the field that are playing at their peak level.
So Rowdies on guard here. It'll come off the foot of Maldonado, the midfielder. '26-year-old, so consistent this season. Here it comes, bit of a curl to it. Kyle Jennings in Tampa Bay, unscathed. Metzingen, a little shaken up in the first half, looks to be okay.
John Bradford just a little uneasy on the sidelines after that first 45 minutes. He thought getting back home after they lost to Hartford that this team will get back to their winning ways, which they've been so dominant at home. Again, 10 goals in their last 5 games. Throughout this season, they've averaged about 1.6 goals a game. Sorry, yeah, 1.6 goals per game. But they haven't been able to create any chances in the first 45 minutes.
Jennings runs into a wall. Hilton. Josh Perez couldn't corral. Oh, this one's trouble. North Carolina on the run here. It's Olex Anderson. Slides one through and scores! Jordan Farr off his line. Anderson takes full advantage.
If you're going to play a high line in this USL Championship, your back line better have the speed to recover. As soon as Anderson got a step on Kleeman and company, it was 1v1 with Farr. Simple as that. Rodrigo da Costa just playing the ball between the lines. Anderson is on his bike now. There's no catching up, and he rolls it past Jordan Farr, expertly taken by DiVincenzo. Coming back from CONCACAF break, and it got a deflection off of Jordan Farr's step inside of his foot. A little bit of luck for Anderson, but he had the ability to maintain that stride, to maintain that advantage, to get the shot off. And the Rowdies paid dearly because of that high back line.
So for Anderson, goal number 11 on the season, now tied for the team lead with Evan Conway. And that's his 35th goal for the franchise of North Carolina FC. That ties him for best all-time. History there.
Like a gazelle. He is so quick. Those long strides, those even strides, and the softest of touches to finish. Take a bow, Anderson.
And that 35 goals ties him with Brian Shriver for the best all-time. So big-time history and an important goal to put North Carolina on the score sheet.
And we talk about goals changing matches now. Remember that North Carolina wanted to come at home, fortunately for them, and get 3 points tonight to get into that discussion of the playoffs. Now they're at home, they have that 1-0 lead. Now the Rowdies have to move uphill to find an equalizer.
Bodily sends it right into the hands of McGuire. Well, if you can't watch the match, turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can hear live matches from the USL, the MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC's 157 and the new SiriusXM app.
Well, again, they go over the top. This time, Anderson, the call is against him. And I want to go on the other end with Kyle Jennings. Yes, he missed that golden opportunity in the first half. But Kyle Jennings, his inability to find the back of the net.
Bodily able to win the 50-50 ball. Blake Bodily sneaking in. And good effort that time by 11. Rowdies will have a corner.
In the earlier parts of the season, Nyanga Berry and Bodily had the ability to get behind opposing defenses and put the ball into that corridor of uncertainty for Jennings and Arteaga to crash. Or balls played through the middle for Jennings to run onto. the delivery and the service is not coming like it was early on in the year, and that's one of the reasons why Jennings' goals has dried up.
So now it's Perez. Bodily gathers once more. Oh, he goes down, just run over. And Tampa Bay will have it in a pretty good spot here on the free kick.
Well, Anderson just scored a beauty of a goal, and now he's given up a free kick. Understand, Bodily is going away from the 18-yard box. There's no reason for Alexander to engage. And now there's a free kick top of the box. Lewis Hilton is feeling pretty good about things lately, and he's going to want to put some laces on this ball.
North Carolina with Batista and Washington. Also Rodrigo da Costa in there. Baco Craig leading the way. They form the wall. See Jennings right in the middle. Jake McGuire, a little antsy as he sets up between the pipes. So for Tampa Bay, Arteaga with Lewis Hilton. Also Josh Perez there. Keep an eye on the rebound as well. It is Hilton, and he sends it a little bit wrong. Remember, for Tampa Bay, Ryan, they did have that second option in parts of the season with Nate Worth, but he is, of course, no longer available for the Rowdies.
Yeah, Nate Worth was almost...
Actually, Nate Worth is available for the Rowdies here tonight. He did get the recent call-up. Check my roster sheet, double check.
Nate Worth is one of those obsessive compulsive players after practice and before practice, practicing free kicks, and it shows in the match. His dead ball delivery, whether it's a shot or a cross, has been on the mark for the Rowdies this season. Of course, he's not on the pitch tonight. May want to see him coming for Bender if this game starts to get, as it gets closer to the end of the match. His ability to be shifty and quick in spaces, but because he was last week during the window, the international window, was not available, of course representing the US youth team, has now come back into the squad. You want to see him get back in and play at least the last 25 minutes.
Yeah, what a great opportunity for the youngster. Nate Worth called up. That was on October 3rd by the United States U19 national team for the October training camp, but he is in fact on the bench tonight. And you've also got options. Leo Fernandez, Damian Rivera has put in really solid minutes for the Rowdies off the bench, and Mustali, that big target, along with Edwin Munjoma, potentially off the bench.
Definitely going to see Leo Fernandez tonight coming in to play some sort of role on this team. The stage where he is right now with his fitness, he can give you a solid 30 minutes.
How about this time and space for Maldonado? He'll send it in. Good 1-2 now. Da Costa, left side, puts it in front. Rowdies dodge a major bullet. That was beautiful setup, though.
Well, Rodrigo da Costa has eyes behind his back, on the side of his head, and in front of him as well. And he laid that ball where only Armstrong could run onto it. Here's him turning in. Look at this pass. Just caressed it. And Armstrong had to have an attempt on goal there. Yes, he had Anderson rather, but he was in on goal. If he went to the far post, he would have given himself a better opportunity to score.
Metzingen. Maldonado. Ball will be sent out. Just sense the confidence too. You get that one goal on the board. You're on your home pitch. And North Carolina right now starting to feel it. First substitutions of the game coming in for the Rowdies. Leo Fernandez will check in. Josh Perez heads out. Also Crisostomo in the game. Danny Crisostomo. And Bender, his night is done.
Well, Crisostomo is a busy type player. He's going to run his laces off in the center circle, disrupt things. Also a good passer, can play in tight spaces. Leo Fernandez is just dynamic, and I'm interested to see how the formation changes with him on the park, in the middle of the park.
Bodley.
So Crisostomo for Bender, even swap, and then Perez for Fernandez, even swap as well. Fernandez is going to come right behind Arteaga and Jennings.
Developed into a pretty nice role for Fernandez. Coming off the injury of last season, Leo worked so hard to get back on the pitch and to be that late game guy who comes in and kind of stirs things up. I think it's a role that he could flourish in for an awfully long time.
And he still has enough legs, Drew. I mean, look at the time. I mean, he still has a solid 33 minutes to go in this match. So he's playing himself into a role, into fitness, where he can almost play a whole half of quality soccer. And Rowdies may want to start looking into that next season, where he can play a solid 45 minutes for the second half.
So Maguire will place it down here. Tampa Bay tries to push it up. Kyle Jennings comes down with it. Jennings trying to get into position, lays it for Bodley. Blake Bodley goes far post. Arteaga freezes, and now Crisostomo picks it up. Lewis Hilton. Guillen eluding defenders. Aaron Guillen goes down hard, and this one's going to be tapped out by Mensingen. Well, relax boldly in Tampa Bay by claiming your next adventure at visitampabay.com. That's visitampabay.com. Drew Felios, Ryan Davis, 60th minute, North Carolina a goal up on Tampa Bay. Rowdies trying to get back in at pool level. Several chances they've had here tonight. Leo Fernandez, Rowdies legend. And now it comes to the feet of El Capitan Guillen. Here's Bodley. Boy, we're seeing some real physical stuff here, and that's going to be a yellow, and I think justifiably so. DaCosta came flying in, spikes up on Jennings.
Yeah, both Paco Craig and DaCosta colliding into Kyle Jennings. Kyle Jennings trying to lay the ball off, but this is the intensity that North Carolina are playing in right now. As soon as anyone touches the ball in that vicinity, Paco Craig started his slide about 3 or 4 yards away and just clattered into Jennings. But they have that confidence in that back line to deal with situations like this.
So now it's Leo Fernandez.
How close is he going to put it to Maguire is the question. Is he going to invite Maguire to the dance? Remember I talked about Bradford's eye roll, you can feel it? What about the Rowdies at this moment? I mean, that was...
Jennings trying to stay on side, cutting it back, getting a shot on frame, but right at Maguire.
Leo Fernandez has to clear that first defender to give his centre-backs like Kleeman a chance to get onto the cross.
Nicky Law thrust into the head coaching duties here tonight. Now it's Freddie Kleeman. Doherty placing it in, taken away. Maldonado. He just never stops running.
Does not. He's so, and when he does get the ball, he's so good on the ball, where he can get the ball to safety and keeps the flow ticking. See?
There he is again. Paco Craig now. Lots of pitch to work with. Mensingen. lofting it up. Up for grabs, Jordan Farr. Rowdies now over the top. Cal Jennings, this is where he's so dangerous. No, not this time, though. Washington ricochets it off him.
Jordan Farr being adventurous, going directly. Luckily for the bounce, Jennings got a chance to regain possession. Leo Fernandez just trying to slip it through, keep the tempo going for the Rowdies, and you can understand why they really need to wake things up in the final third of the field and not become methodical.
Well, eFootball 2024 is here. You can live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. Yes, that is eFootball, free to play. Download now. Lewis Hilton and the Rowdies. A goal down here on the road. Game scheduled late here in North Carolina. Supposed to be a Rowdies home game at Al Link Stadium. Obviously, due to the duo Hurricanes, Al Link not playable now and in the near future. So far side, good matchup there. Nyanga step for step with Armstrong. Once again fighting for it. Crisostomo. Martin sends it back out. I talk about Al Lang, Ryan. Tampa Bay will make a temporary home at IMG Academy in the Bradenton, Sarasota area. Chance to play there next week. Should be fun as the Rowdies have a chance to play close to home. A Minhouse upcoming schedule for Tampa Bay right there. Hartford Athletic and Indy 11. So two important matchups. And we're going to be thrilled to bring you the calls of both of those matchups as well.
Well, just getting back to what this game actually means for both teams. For North Carolina, the 3 points puts them back in the position of being in the playoffs. For the Rowdies, of course, 3 points will get them back into the top 4, but a point by the Rowdies will also ensure the Rowdies make the playoffs for the 2024 season. So you can see the haste and the eagerness and the body language now between Nyanga and company to get back on the score sheet.
Now Aaron Guillen slowly working up the field.
Leo Fernandez playing a true number 10 role tonight. Playing behind the forwards, he's drifting from side to side. It's up to players like Nyanga, Aaron Guillen and company to give Leo Fernandez a touch, even though he has someone on his back. He has that ability. You have to seek out your number 10 because there's not much space to play in the position of the field that he's playing in right now. It's up to his teammates to find him.
Jennings couldn't gather it in. Little collision there as Metzingen again is down. And those two may have knocked knees as they crossed each other.
Well, Rafa's having a long night tonight. Had a concussion exam in the first half from Blake Bodley. And this time, the knees clashing from Jennings. Oof, I can feel that all the way up here. One thing of note, Drew, that has been the Rowdies' demise in the last couple of matches. They haven't kept a clean sheet in over 6 matches now. There's 7 on the trot. They've just been conceding goals, and it's so hard to score goals when you're down because the other team doesn't have to take any gamble. They can sit back and sort of play compact because they don't have to chase the game anymore. And it's up to the Rowdies now to chase it.
Fernandez tried to hit Jennings on the run. Guillen comes up, and he will gain possession here for Tampa Bay. Oh, you see, DaCosta can't believe it. Things looking good for John Bradford's side right now. Still plenty of time to go for Tampa Bay to pull level. Rowdies trying to clinch a postseason spot here tonight. Always want to try and control your own destiny. You never want to be watching scores and hoping for things. Youngaberry. And it is off of North Carolina. Rowdies throw in. .6 total for the Rowdies coming into tonight. 42 for North Carolina. See Greg Dopka now. Discussion with Ezra Armstrong. Fernandez. Youngaberry has got to go chase.
Good early ball by Leo Fernandez, asking the question. I mean, it went over Carl Jennings and Arteaga's head. But the Rowdies still have to take some chances. They have to start putting balls into the danger areas, just like Leo Fernandez did. It may look a little bit desperate, but they have to put some pressure on Washington and Batista and company. They can't afford to go side to side. That's one thing that the Rowdies team sometimes gets lulled into, and they become very, very predictable and rehearsed. They have to become unrehearsed, and the ball in the last third has to be moved a lot quicker and with purpose.
Crisostomo. And again, just frustration there setting in. Rafa to throw it in. Lewis Hilton goes down hard. And now the turn. Here they come again. Jordan far out of goal. Ball skates in, and the Rowdies concede once more. Jordan Doherty did all he could to try and prevent it. Evan Conway ahead of the pack, and it's 2-0.
Well, it's that space behind the high back line again. All North Carolina do is place the balls into space, and quicker players like Anderson and Conway to run onto it. Ball in midfield, it looks all harmless. Maldonado winning the challenge. It's DaCosta again, who set up Anderson, slips it through for Conway. Jordan Farr in no man's land, doesn't do anything with it. Instead of kicking it out to the side, he kicks it straight. Conway gets there and literally has an open net after that. At this point, when Jordan Farr gets off, he has to kick the ball to the sides. He cannot go straight ahead to the on-rushing Conway, who has disaster is likely to happen.
So what is cause for concern? 2 goals basically scored exactly the same way, with one player ahead of the pack and Farr coming off his line unsuccessfully.
Yeah, Farr with the first one is not at fault, but the second one for sure. He got there first, and his decision not to go to the side to his left, where it would be the natural direction. Instead, he just pushed it straight, and Conway, of course, got the deflection.
Arteaga tries to keep control. Throw in Rowdies, 72nd minute now.
Remember, Jordan Farr, former 2022 Golden Glove winner of the year.
So Eddie Monjoma will come on for the Rowdies. Also, Damian Rivera as well.
But Freddie Kleeman has shown he can't recover with that ball going over the top to Anderson and Conway. He's brought to the sidelines. So that means it's Jordan Doherty and Monjoma with Aaron Guillen.
Tampa Bay Rowdies substitution, the 72nd minute of play. Coming out of the game on 19, former Freeman Coming in number 23, Edwin Minjoma. Also in the 72nd minute, coming out of the game, number 26, Caleb Jennings. Coming in number 8, Damian Rivera.
Rowdies once again trying to turn it up. Fernandez. Does Tampa Bay have an answer? Rivera. Oh, that ball nearly an own goal that time.
You and I were talking about Damian Rivera before the broadcast. He has that ability to take players on 1v1 on that wide position. And when he does this, for example, here's Cristostomo, busy as ever. Leo Fernandez faking. But notice this, here comes the 1v1. He has so much time on the ball because he's so good on the ball. He brings two players across, and now he creates a delivery, a pass that asks the question, and now they win a corner kick. Cal Jennings, because he hasn't been scoring, is the reason why he was taken off rather than Arteaga.
Now Bodily. Rowdies. Here's Rivera once more, fresh legs off the bench, trying to go to work and spark this club. Fernandez, far post. Nyangaberi, little tap. Rivera, ball never came down to him. There's a couple dark jerseys flying in the way.
Well, Damian Rivera had his eyes locked on the ball, was thinking of a bicycle, and the brave Washington came across to win it. Thought Leo Fernandez could have crossed that ball first time. When he took a touch, he allowed Paco Craig, Washington and company to set.
So pretty decent sequence there for the Rowdies.
Here's that delivery, a floater to the back post. And Nyangaberi just tries to put it back into the mixer. And there was Rivera thinking of a bicycle kick, with Washington getting there first.
Whether they're helping you drive innovation or helping you drive home early, TD Synnex simplifies today's complex and ever-changing IT landscape so that you can focus on what's important. Learn more at tdsynnex.com. That's tdsynnex.com. To welcome them to the Rowdies sponsorship family. Hope you're enjoying this one, although so far, Rowdies, again, more tough luck here on the road and a displaced game for Tampa Bay. Scoring summary, Anderson and Conway. 49th and 70th respectively, that's where we stand. Rowdies with several chances, unable to cash in. Hilton goes down, quick whistle.
There is a mentality, a methodology of playing this game. Of if you commit from your front line to your midfield to your back line and you pressure, you continue maintaining that pressure, balls can't be slipped through. Because the pressure is on the ball, there's no area to pass. But if there isn't pressure on the ball and players like Rodrigo da Costa get to turn and face your high back line, he's just going to thread the ball through into that space. You have fast forwards, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Nyangaberi, that ball screaming off his foot.
So it's the lack of pressure on the ball that exposes the high back line. Players like Lewis Hilton, Bender, when he was on the pitch, have to close down a lot quicker. If not, if that can't happen on a consistent basis, then you cannot play with a high back line.
That well said. Eddie Mujoma active that time. And now the Rowdies will set up another corner kick here. A Cookie Field Mama corner kick.
Oh, mama, do we need a goal?
Fernandez, and it's into the hands of McGuire once more. In that sequence, we did see a yellow card dished out to Lamar Batista. So Batista in the book here for North Carolina late. So Paco Craig, Lamar Batista, Evan Conway, all with yellows. A ball right into no man's land. Jordan Farr comes up.
But that, in that instance, Jordan Farr kicked to the side. That's the safe spot to kick it to. That should have happened for the second goal.
Rowdies now turning and attacking here. Bodily. And right, I think you're onto something at the start of the season. Bodily just looked so confident in that spot. He's looked a little indecisive here tonight.
He did have a tough injury that he had to come back from in the middle of the season. But I think it's just contagious. Everyone has a little bit of self-doubt.
Sure.
And it's running rampant through the field.
Youngerberry trying to turn. And there's McGuire again.
Well, Maguire's had quite the game. Didn't have a lot to do. Rowdies didn't create any clear-cut opportunities so far. But what was put in his direction, I have to say Maguire has been sure of his hand.
Now it's Doherty. Colin Martin on his back. Doherty unloads it. Youngerberry. Armstrong wins it from him. And Armstrong goes down. You saw the frustration for Pacific. He did not like the exchange there. And now the backup comes for North Carolina. And Pacific Youngerberry has got to be really careful here.
Well, Washington, actually Armstrong and Youngerberry have been going at it hammer and nail for this entire match. And North Carolina is doing the referee a favor. And Youngerberry, frustrated, he's saying that Armstrong head-butted. Actually, Maldonado is the one came in with his head. It's always tough for referees to decipher after the commerce has taken place.
So a little bit of bedlam ensuing here late. Been a pretty even keel match thus far.
This is perfect for North Carolina. They get to slow the game down, comes to a stop, clock is ticking, and it allows their team to reset. Yes, the Rowdies have emotion, and they should. This is a meaningful match. Aaron Gay and the captain quite rightly coming across, asking the referee the decision. But at this point, North Carolina, if you can chop the game and muddy it up a little bit for the next 10, 12 minutes, you prevent the Rowdies from getting any sort of rhythm, attacking rhythm. And they just want to see this through, so they get back into that playoff run. I think that's like a red card for like a week that guy will get suspended for. That is quite the red card.
So these fans, even though it's free tonight, they're getting their money's worth.
They are. They are. Two fantastic goals, by the way, by Anderson and Conway.
Youngerberry asking for mercy. I think a yellow card certainly going to be in store here. This does not look good here. It will be a yellow. And I think Youngerberry lucky in that instance to get out.
Yeah, it all started with the tussle with Armstrong and then the reaction. Here was the tangling. These two have been going at it. There was a late kick on Armstrong. That in itself is a yellow card. Now look at this. They're both tangling. And here comes Maldonado, and that was the push. I think that could be a second yellow card. So you're right, Drew. I think Youngerberry is lucky to be on the pitch. That could have been a red for the initial challenge and then the reaction.
So we're talking about Nate Worth. And here comes the youngster. Lewis Hilton will hustle off. And Nate Worth, officially part of the U19 United States squad, comes on for the Rowdies. So we are so happy to see this kid. He is inspirational, isn't he? And he definitely brings a different vibe to the club.
Well, the veteran Lewis Hilton coming off for the young Nate Worth. I mean, both players playing in that similar center midfield position, but different characteristics. Lewis Hilton, more of a recovery type player to tackle as well as distribution. Nate Worth, a little bit more shifty and could create space for himself and others. But I think Cristostomo is going to drop into that Lewis Hilton position while Nate Worth will be given the green light to move forward.
Well,
what about this guy? 2 assists.
Yeah, he comes out. What a shift. DaCosta put in, and he makes way for another Lewis. Luis Perez comes on in relief of DaCosta.
Well, Perez is a Frenchman, played for UCF, the Central Florida Knights, and he has quite the left foot. He's a playmaker, and he's going to play right in the same position that Rodrigo DaCosta played in.
So North Carolina right now going to make Tampa Bay chase. Rowdies just trying to get some luck on the road. It hasn't happened just yet. And time starting to wear thin. Fernandez turns. Leo Fernandez through traffic. Taken away eventually. Our final sponsor of the night is Hooters, the original wing joint. Hooters since 1983. The original wing joint, the one on Gulf to Bay Boulevard. Love to frequent that location. So many great restaurants nationwide.
Serving mouths and serving eyeballs since 1983.
(2-0) the score. North Carolina with Anderson attacking. Oh, looking really good on the ball. Here's Perez. Right side, Maldonado.
When you see the ball going to the back of the net, not once but twice, everybody has a bit of confidence now. Everybody wants to touch the ball now, Drew. A little bit different on the other end.
Got the flow, got the cohesion. Oh, look at this one. Wide open, Metzingen. Spreading it now, far side, Rowdies. Scrambling just a bit. Bodily tries to stay on top of it. And the applause by John Bradford. He likes what he sees with his club right now.
Understand Rafa, who's now playing out on the right-hand side, scored 5 goals in the first 6 matches for this North Carolina side. That's how good of a playmaker and goal scorer he is. But now asked to play a different role to serve the team.
Fernandez for Worth. Here's Rivera. And from behind, Fernandez again on top of Colin Martin.
But to have players like Colin Martin, Rodrigo DaCosta, in the middle of the park, Maldonado, such good ball handlers. Now you have Luis Perez, the Frenchman. All ball handlers, so hard to get the ball off of them.
Sun has gone down here. It's got a little bit chilly. 61 degrees here in Cary, North Carolina at the Wake Med Soccer Park, one of the elite facilities in USL Championship. Drew Felios alongside Ryan Davis. 2-0 the score. Rowdies trying to make something happen here late.
Well, Rowdies, 55% possession to 45. North Carolina, 7 shots to 4. Corner kicks 7-2. Have done everything right, but create a big chance. He created 1 big chance. And Carl Jennings didn't convert from a Nyongaberi cross. But since then, it was North Carolina with the sucker punch through the middle, over the top, while Rowdies tried to push forward. When the play broke up, they had space behind, they exploited that space, and their forwards, Conway and Alexander, did a great job in finishing.
Got this one back now. So Munjoma trying to make something happen on that right side. Nate Worth finding Nyongaberi. Worth shaking free. It's going to be Munjoma, though. And once again, well defended by North Carolina. Rowdies corner on the way. Saw Worth, though, shake free, though. Ryan looked like he was running free there for a moment. Get it right back to him. They couldn't do it. Those cookies looking better and better as this night goes along.
I'm staring at the sign. I'm getting hungry.
Worth, little tap. And once again, boy, the outlets have been on point. Look at the numbers going forward. Just one back, and Aaron Guillen able to get just enough of it.
Aaron Guillen, you should play the lotto tonight. He was the one defender, and the 4 forwards, it was 1v4, and it went straight to the Rowdies captain.
That was certainly scary. Now Washington finds a spot. Crisostomo able to come away with it. And now Fernandez. Connected some dots here. Here's Rivera. And Nyangaberi. A little bit more indecision there.
Love the build-up play, though, starting from Crisostomo to Leo Fernandez. And a little layoff from Worth into the path of Rivera. Nyangaberi just was not on the same page.
Jake McGuire working on another clean sheet here. Second time Rowdies have played on this field this season. Last time they were here, it was a 1-1 draw. Different story here tonight. Nyangaberi tries to get to the end line, taken down. And no whistle, looks like. Will it be another Rowdies corner? Yes, sir, and a lot of chirping going on. That match I mentioned back on March 23rd, right at the start of the season. 1-1 draw to North Carolina. And Tampa Bay, unfortunately, yet to get on the score sheet here. Nate Worth again with another cookie-fueled mama corner.
It all starts with a good delivery. He has to get past the first defender. What a ball.
One more time, Olex Anderson. Bodily giving chase. Anderson's got to slow up. Still a good opportunity here for Armstrong.
Armstrong understanding what the game needs right now. He's just going to recycle the ball. We're into the 90th minute. And this North Carolina team in the second half, very efficient. Rowdies have had most of the ball in the second half, but they use the space behind that Rowdies backline to perfection. DaCosta, the two center forwards, and put this game away at 2-0.
So both goals coming in the second half. We were scoreless at halftime. Rowdies looked optimistic, looked like they were starting to find their feet. But in the second half, just not the type of finish Tampa Bay fans were hoping for.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated a minimum of
5 minutes extra time, 5 minutes. Of course, Tampa Bay was looking to play this game with Ralph's Mob and Skyway Casuals rooting them on. Uncharted territory here on the road. As Rivera comes up with it again. Rowdies could have certainly used that home spark.
No, this is shocking, though. This is shocking. Maldonado just put his hands around the player and did a professional foul to stop the play. The referee stopped the play, and what we have not seen so far is no yellow card. Now, this is interesting because that is as clear as day as a yellow card in the sport. It's a rule. It's not like an opinion or you have a choice. And the referee has decided, this is the foul here. He's completely done a professional foul to grab Rivera, and in every walk of life and in every game in soccer, that is a yellow card without question. And the referee has decided to let Maldonado off the hook. It's unfathomable. I just don't understand.
It's that type of officiating that frustrated Nicky Law and the Rowdies last contest. Tampa Bay unable to get a break. Jordan Doherty will loft it up. Trouble. And once again, McGuire goes and gets it. Arteaga right there. See North Carolina taking every second of that extra time. Do not want to give the Rowdies any time to breathe whatsoever. Now it's Worth. Bodley. Bodley has worked hard tonight. Just has not had that moment. Looks like the timing's been a little bit off. The cohesion as well.
And right now, North Carolina just allowing the Rowdies to play in front of them and not get behind.
On cue. As it is taken away, Luis Perez again. Brian, you had a chance to see Perez as a collegian?
I did. I saw him with the UCF Knights in his college career, and he was quite the player. Shifty, creative, has a cultured left foot. He can hit the ball anywhere with that left foot, and he can shoot the ball from distance as well, the Frenchman.
Shaft Brewer set to check in for North Carolina.
Fans, put your hands together for number 14.
And Rafa Metzigan comes out. So a full night for him. Number 14 went down a couple times, hopped right back up. So Shaft Brewer, chance to contribute here late. Crisostomo, center circle. Doherty, little touch, well done. Tampa Bay attacking. That's where they want it. But unable to get a strike on it as Arteaga.
Brilliant build-up. It's just that final product in the last third, that final pass to create. Eddie Monjoma did the right thing. He put it onto the penalty spot. Nate Worth coming in as a substitute. Hasn't been caught up to the pace of the game. Good turn. Just try to turn like that in the 18-yard box where there is no room to turn.
Anderson. So the Rowdies hoping to clinch a postseason berth tonight. If it does happen on this evening, it's not going to be by their own doing. Jake McGuire taps it out. And North Carolina put the finishing touches on this one. Perez. Nate Worth working hard here late. Here comes North Carolina again, not satisfied. Foot on the gas pedal. Bodley with a final touch. And that does it from Carey. So North Carolina FC, they get what is a sort of a bonus home game here tonight. Tampa Bay had high hopes coming in, but simply not to be as they fall 2-0.
Credit to North Carolina. Boy, have they made use of being at home this season, and they did so again tonight. They understand the Rowdies want to push up high, play a high-pressing game. They took advantage of the space behind the slower centre-backs, and their fast forwards, Alexander and Conway, motored on and finished when they needed to and won the game at home. And now North Carolina are in that 8th spot and in the playoff discussion again.
Two goals that look near identical. Rowdies fall to North Carolina on the road. When we come back, we will wrap this night of USL Championship soccer up. North Carolina victorious. We'll be back after this.
Very different people, very different medical conditions, who all have one thing in common. They and their families chose Orlando Health for care, where our expert teams gave them one more thing in common: their lives back. Orlando Health. Choose well.
If you have a situation where you need a lawyer, Farrah & Farrah's team give you the best service that you can have. They set up all your doctor's appointments. They are very honest, very trustworthy. You couldn't be in better hands.
Whiplash, sprains, strains, and tears. There's nothing soft about soft tissue injuries. But somehow, big insurance companies have the nerve to not take them seriously. If you're dealing with a soft tissue injury, call Farah & Farah. Our results are no accident.
Get ready, get set, get check. It's just that easy to sell your car with MorganBuysCars.com. First, visit MorganBuysCars.com and tell us a bit about your car. Next, receive an express cash offer online. Then, schedule an appointment at one of our 14 convenient locations to pick up your check. Plus, we'll beat anyone's offer on your vehicle, or we'll give you $500. So, get ready, get set, and get checked. Online at MorganBuysCars.com.
Welcome back, everybody. North Carolina FC celebrating on their home pitch as they defeat the Tampa Bay Rowdies tonight by a score of 2-0. Tough luck for Cal Jennings, and the Rowdies just couldn't quite get that offense going. North Carolina, a couple goals in the second half did the trick. Let's take a look at your highlights, brought to you by Duke Energy, working overtime to restore power after 2 hurricanes. And for North Carolina, how about this play? Just electric.
Rodrigo da Costa just playing the ball into space, allowing his forward to run onto it. Once Alexander gets there, he's so clinical. Scores for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Scored the last time he played for North Carolina, and he scores on his return. A little bit of luck hits the inside of Farr's leg to get in, but Anderson and da Costa created that.
So Alexanderson, well done. Then 70th minute, and again da Costa in the middle of it.
Gets a chance to turn, no pressure, plays the ball into space, same scenario, and Jordan Farr somehow does not kick the ball to the side. He goes straight and pays the ultimate price. And Conway just sort of caresses it into the goal.
Conway just follows that one right into the net. Jordan Doherty, great effort there, just not in time. So Rowdies just simply could not recover. That magical moment just never came, even though they possessed 54% of the time.
Yeah, they did a good job holding on to the ball. They actually created shots 7-4, corners 9-2. But when you push up with the ball, you're going to leave yourself a little bit vulnerable. If you don't have the personnel to recover, then you're going to pay the price. And North Carolina made sure they paid the price.
Rowdies led in corners as well. North Carolina did not have a corner, I believe, that whole second half. Rowdies just kind of stay in neutral there in the standings in that 6th spot. North Carolina up to 45 points now after the victory. And just like that, the Rowdies, man, their position, it just doesn't feel solid right now. Tampa Bay hoping now that things work out for them in the chase towards the postseason.
Well, they head back to the IMG Sports Complex, but they're going to have their fans behind them. They're going to get that emotion, that emotional push after what that group, that area went through, and hopefully that can translate onto the field and get 6 points in the last 2 games.
Blue City still atop the table. Those the Eastern Conference standings will follow them all the way to the finish. Tampa Bay Rowdies and North Carolina FC, special thanks to all the folks in North Carolina for hosting this match tonight on short notice. 2-0, the final score. Hope you enjoyed it. For Ryan Davis and myself, Drew Felios, have a terrific rest of the weekend, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.